Hello, hello. This is my book for this week for you a little bit younger guys and girls, but all ages would love this one. It's called Gaston, and that's the French pronunciation of a French name. And we know we have Miss Gaston here at school. We call her Mrs. Gaston, but this is a little French, I think it's a French bulldog, so we're going to say it in the French way, Gaston. Just like from, what is the movie, Beauty and the Beast? They had a Gaston on that too. And poodles are French, or from France. So we got a French bulldog and a poodle. Mrs. Poodle admired her new puppies, and their names are Fifi, Fufu, Ooh La La, and Gaston. It's a fun book to read. Would you like to see them again? Fifi, Fufu, Ooh La La, and Gaston. Perfectly precious, aren't they? Mrs. Poodle thought so too. The puppies grew as puppies do. 3 were no bigger than teacups. The 4th, however, continued to grow and grow until he was the size of a teapot. And I should have pointed this out. We've got Fifi, Fufu, Ooh La La, and Gaston. He's looking a little different from the others, right? So there's been a little mix-up, especially when we get over here and we see that he's not the same size as the others. But she loves all of her puppies. Mrs. Poodle took pride in teaching her puppies how to be proper pooches. They were taught to sip, never slobber. So she says, good, well done, very nice. And then when we get down to Gaston, she says, nice try. He's not as neat as the poodles, is he? Over here, they were taught to yip, never yup. Yip, yip, yip. And then he says, ruff. And they were taught to walk with grace, never race. Tip, toe, tippy toe. And then we get to Gaston and he says, whoa. Or they say, whoa, because he's going too fast. The puppies were also taught how to look pretty in pink, how to nibble their kibble, and ride in style. Get that one with the sunglasses. Whatever the lesson, Gaston always worked the hardest, practiced the longest, and he smiled the biggest. Mrs. Poodle was very pleased with all of her puppies. Fifi, Fufu, Ooh La La, and Gaston. Spring arrived and the proud mother was eager to show off her darlings. She took them to the park for their very first stroll in public. There was much to see. Daffodils, ducklings, dogs. Oh dear, who do we have here? Rocky, Ricky, Bruno, and Antoinette. Are we starting to get the picture here? Rocky, Ricky, Bruno, and Antoinette. Would you like to see them again? Rocky, Ricky, Bruno, and Antoinette. This was more than a little awkward. The mothers sized up the pups sized up one another. It seems there's been a terrible mistake, Mrs. Bulldog said, breaking the silence. Oui, Mrs. Poodle agreed sadly. Whatever shall we do? Mrs. Bulldog could not come up with an answer. I guess we'll let them decide, she replied at last. They're going to let the dogs decide what to do. Gaston and Antoinette were young, but even they could see there had been a mix-up. the two puppies began to circle around and around the group. Gaston walked with grace. Antoinette raced. Gaston yipped, and Antoinette yapped. And when they finally came to a stop, the puppies had traded places. There, that looked right. It just didn't feel right. So they're with the breeds and the moms that they should be with, but they were raised with the other families. So, what would you do? That evening, Antoinette tried to fit in with her new sisters, but she did not like anything proper or precious or pink. And she said, "Phooey." On the other side of town, Gaston tried to fit in with his new brothers, but he did not like anything brutish or brawny or brown. And he said, "Ick." Antoinette and Gaston weren't the only ones who were having a hard time adjusting. So the moms are sad. Looking at their pictures. This time, let's see. The next morning, Mrs. Poodle forgot all about being proper and she raced back to the park. Mrs. Bulldog was already there waiting with her burly brood. "It seems we've made a terrible mistake," she nearly shouted. "Oui, oui," Mrs. Poodle agreed happily. This time, Gaston and Antoinette wasted no time trading places. There, that looked right, and it felt right too. From that day forward, the families met in the park every afternoon to play. Rocky, Ricky, Bruno, and Antoinette taught the poodle puppies a thing or two about being tough. Likewise, Fifi, Fufu, Ooh La La, and Gaston taught the bulldog puppies a thing or two about being tender, which is really nice. And many years later, when Gaston and Antoinette fell in love and had puppies of their own, they taught them to be whatever they wanted to be. Wow, that had a happy ending, didn't it? I especially like that they still got to visit each other in the park and so that they were all friends. And look at all the little puppies. All right. I hope you enjoyed that. That is one of my old faves. Very sweet. Gaston by Kelly DePuccio. All right. See you guys soon.